think, Rowan, of any companies particularly that are good at harnessing some of this technology for both the military and for non-military purposes?
Military hardware skills in a firm are translatable into other domains. Saab Technologies has been successful in translating its naval ship combat system command and control systems into fairly sophisticated prison monitoring and security systems as well. So that if a firm puts its mind to alternative applications of the technology which is central to what it is that they're doing, it's not unusual that that you can find those sort of trade-offs. I think there are a couple of other examples, just quickly, I would give you. Austal, except Austal probably did it a bit the other way around. They translated world-leading technology for high-speed aluminium ferries into military patrol craft or constabulary duty type patrol craft as well. And they've taken that a step further into the littoral combatant ship that they produce in America for the United States Navy. All of that has spun from a skill in civilian technology or technology applied to a civilian application. Thales, I think, has been also really quite adept at spinning some of their technologies off into military technologies off into other areas. Equally, a little firm here in Canberra, out of Fishwick, CEA Technologies. They've produced some absolutely world-beating radar technology, which will be fitted in Australia's new frigates to provide all of the services that a radar provides. But it actually does a whole lot more than that, and they've been able to translate that skill into providing surveillance systems for protection of US nuclear facilities in continental USA. So the opportunities are there. I think the only thing that's limiting the application of these sorts of technologies is our own imagination.
Gee, it sounds as though there's a lot happening in the Australian defence space then.
There's a huge amount happening, Fiona. I characterise this era in our history as the largest recapitalisation of our defence forces since World War II. The recapitalisation of the Air Force is not far off being complete. There are still a few things to go in terms of introduction into service. The Triton uninhabited aerial vehicle for maritime surveillance, the Joint Strike Fighter, of course, which is on its way. So that's left us in a situation where we have an Air Force now which is as complex and sophisticated in terms of the capabilities that it operates as any in the world, and with an average airframe age about as young as anyone in the world. A very sophisticated Air Force, hugely capable. The Navy's recapitalisation is also well underway, but a long way off being finished. The LHDs, of course, there are new tankers on the way. There will be new patrol boats or offshore patrol vessels on the way. Frigates, the new destroyers are entering service, and submarines are not far away now either. Also, all incorporating absolutely cutting-edge technologies in terms of combat system, particularly, and weapons. And really, the Army's following up behind a little, and in terms of overall gross expenditure, perhaps not as much as is being invested in the Navy and the Air Force, because they are, by virtue of their reason for being, very much more reliant on volumes of much more expensive technology. The Army requires bigger volumes and it's expensive technology, but the unit size and cost is smaller. So generally speaking, whilst there's still an enormous amount of money involved, and there's no argument, I think, that it's not necessary, it's generally a smaller overall spend. So we're at a moment in history in Australia for defence industry where if you're not in it, why not?